Hello guys, in today's video I'm going to repeat something that I have added into my previous video, in which I have shown you that how to code on how we do the whole process. Actually, it's fairly simple. Now in today's video I am going to add the last part of that video, because for you to understand. Now if you remember, I told you that once we compile the code and once we've included the IO stream file in our code, that actually is added into the output file. You remember the a.out file. That is the file containing the whole code of IO stream file in that one single file. So actually the whole output file is larger than the size that we actually made it. Just consider this. If I'm using cout hello world endl, now in order to make our compiler understand the whole thing with using namespace std. Now this whole code is entered into our source file once we compile it. We don't want it because the whole IO stream file is added into our output file, so it decreases the efficiency of our code because it needs code to run cout statement and endl statement. What if we only wanted cout and endl statement in our code? We want to define only these two functions. We don't want to objects. We don't want to use cin operator. Like in this code, we have no use with that cin operator or string library or any other thing that we are not using. We don't want it in our code output file. So how are we going to do that? Well, now in this code we have already included the input file as well, because this is input output stream. So we have included cin definition code in our output file. So we don't want it because we don't want it in our code in our output file. So we want to handle that with removing this code right here and use std and scope resolution operator. I'll explain to you what the scope resolution operator is, but first we need to understand what std is. Sorry, how this code, the whole code is going to work.
Build started.
It's taking fairly a large amount of time to run the code. I don't know why.
Build started.
So here it's hello world. So the output is similar. Now what happened in this type of code that we've written, only cout's definition and endl's definition was added because we explicitly said that we want this code to enter. What scope resolution operator is, once we've used scope resolution operator, it will take the compiler to the, to make it fairly simple for you guys, to make it shorter, just consider scope resolution operator is an arrow that takes you towards that specific location where that definition of a particular object you're using is defined. Like in here, we're using cout statement and we're using scope resolution operator in std. So it's saying that we want to go to std namespaces as standard file, and in there we have the definition of cout and we want to use that definition. So it's quite simple for you, but it does not work this way. But as a beginner's guide, this may explain the meaning of all this. So we did not include cin in here. You see, if I try to cin something, int a and cin a, the compiler will say it doesn't understand cin right here. Okay, so we managed to get rid of that cin definition that was coming in our code. So this is something that is of higher level, but you need to understand it. Always use std and then scope resolution operator, and then use your objects that you want, whether it's cin or it's endl or it's cout code. So you have made your code efficient and smaller in size, because at the end of the day you need to build those apps, those programs and those softwares that are going to be lesser in the magnitude, in their size, but serve the similar purpose. For example, in this code we have seen that output hello world is fairly simple and similar towards the like the previous one, but that the higher the piece of code that was included by using namespace std, we were including cin's code, cout's code, and endl, and actually we were not using all that. Now we want to include only that code that we need, so we want to use scope resolution operator with std as a prefix. So this was all for today's video. Do practice it. Allah Hafiz.